Why so many couples break up around Valentine's Day, the week before, the week after, sometimes during. We don't want that happening for you. Top 3 reasons we're going to talk about tonight, and I'm going to give you some of my take and do some Q&A when folks come on and have any questions, because we want you to thrive, not just survive, during Valentine's week leading up to Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And that can be in many forms. And if you have any questions about what you receive this Valentine's Day or don't, make sure to come on our live, for example, on a Sunday, which Valentine's Day this year is Friday. We will be on live on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you will come on and ask me any questions about it. And I'm going to get into the top 3 reasons tonight. I don't want you to fall prey to any of this. And then we can get into question and answer. So I'm going to be better at this than I was before. I'm new to this screen sharing thing here. So I'm going to attempt to put this up here and show you. There are 2 articles, one from Psychology Today and another source. I'm just going to go over what I think is possibly let's go with the number 3 first. So let me see here. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so this is an article from Your Tango. It's number 3. A relationship struggling before Valentine's Day may crumble under the stress and demands of the holiday. That's pretty straightforward, yes, because a weakened relationship under the strain of it, which actually speaks to the top reason, but this isn't the mainstay of a lot of relationships. And I'm going to come at this, of course, from what I think happens from the man's point of view and the woman's point of view. Number 3, okay, yes, if a relationship is already somewhat weakened or in crisis, this can happen. However, if you are attuned to the man pulling back and distancing himself from Valentine's Day, you can help yourself enormously. So here is this article from Your Tango. The relationship is already in crisis, like I said. You can help it enormously by recognizing the signs of distancing and then doing not what most women do, which is go towards and attempt to talk about it, find out about it, investigate it, do more, do more. Actually, we need to do less and pull back. This really makes you have to have high-level skills of restraint, first and foremost. When you do that, you can super help yourself to not have this happen, meaning a relationship that, and I'm going to take out the word crisis, meaning it's just in a weakened state. And it's that little straw that can break the camel's back from the man's point of view, where he just pulls away, doesn't want to deal with it, can't deal with it, and so he just goes AWOL. And you can be in this state right now, hopefully not, but if you are, you can help yourself enormously by just doing nothing. Nothing. It's going to be super hard for you in many instances, but if you do this, you will help yourself enormously. Then there is, let's see, the second reason, social media comparisons. Yeah, this is par for the course. Social media is showing all kinds of love things and wonderful things. And we talked about this yesterday on the live, that everything in our lexicon around Valentine's Day has changed with our material world. That I say, you can just imagine in the board meeting of, say, Hallmark cards or whatever it was back in the 1950s, maybe even earlier. And they said, why don't we take 51% of the population that's not invested in spending on Valentine's Day and pull them in via advertising? Our world is greatly influenced by advertising. There is absolutely no doubt. And we have been socialized in the modern world that Valentine's Day is a reciprocal day of women giving to men as much, and you give your partner gifts of reciprocal value, etc. Well, that doesn't float the man's boat, and I'm going to give you evidence as to why that is. And I think it's pretty straightforward. If you really think about it, it's pretty straightforward. But the social media comparisons, if you're doing that, you are perhaps feeling badly about it. Plus, you are then priming the pump for the number one reason, which is the pressure of expectations. Largely, this is the issue for both men and women, but specifically for women, because women have an idea that, okay, our relationship is at a certain point. So that means if then, a really big negative, if he felt this, then he would do that. If he liked me enough, wanted me enough, he would get this for Valentine's Day. He would do X for Valentine's Day. He would know that I need this. I want that. Et cetera, et cetera. And this is a really big problem. So you might be asking, well, does that mean I should have no expectations for Valentine's Day? Well, that depends. It truly depends on your relationship. It depends where you are in the trajectory of things. And again, we talk about that vis-a-vis what you get for your man. Mostly nothing. Or a token, because you are the gift. And I know that many people think, well, that's my take on it. But in this article about what men and women really want, I'm going to remove this and give you this, what men and women really want for Valentine's Day. This article sums it up. Forgive my being slow on this, but getting used to this. What men and women really want for Valentine's Day. You'll see it here almost 2 in 5 Americans say they're planning to get a Valentine's gift for their partner. That's interesting. But think about that, 2 in 5. Hopefully, the 2 in the 5 are the men, not the women. You see how articles like this tend not to delineate, is it the man or is it the woman? Almost 2 in 5. Yeah. But what do people really want? Well, that is divergent. When it comes to men, and here's what I've been saying, ladies, it's right here. When it comes to many men, and I would say most, all they want for Valentine's Day is ding, ding, ding. Well, you. Like I said yesterday, you are the gift. 1 in 5, 20% of men say what they really want for Valentine's Day. Very simple. No tangible gifts like flowers. Please, ladies, no flowers. Don't give a man flowers. Don't even give him candy. That's what you would want. And we don't want any gift that feminizes the man. Flowers are what men give to women. Candy, what men give to women. Jewelry, what men give to women. Although, when I say candy, meaning, don't get the heart or anything like that. If it's a small little token gift of like his favorite, big chocolate bar, Giardella or whatever it is, that's something different. You stick a little bow on it or whatever, a token gift. I always say here, wine or liquor, good one. Electronics, no, let's just stay away from any of that. You are the gift. You're the gift. So, because you are, what do men say? It's right here. Men say they want sexual acts or favors. This is a great excuse. Buy yourself the sexy lingerie, the sexy teddy. That can be the fun gift. Again, if things are going well and you get to have a Valentine's Day or night, the most important thing is that you do not make a bigger deal out of it than it warrants. But many folks, what can happen? I should say many women. It's connoting what the man absolutely feels about you. And I'm going to say that has more to do with how he views gifts. So he may not view gifts. Let's look at the love languages. He's either a gift giver or maybe that's not his love language and it is acts of service. And it's in this article what women say they want. 12% would be delighted if their partner did something for the household that they typically manage themselves, like chores or childcare. For married couples, that can be absolutely true. I also talked about this in yesterday's live, that if you are married, engaged, dependent upon where you are in your relationship, you can be a little less even observant about the day, if you will, because it's taking the whole of the man in the relationship. But we women can tend to put a lot of pressure on specific days. I don't know what it is in terms of the difference between men and women, but it's there. Maybe because women mark time in a way that men do not. If you've read my book, and I got this from Barbara DeAngelis, and I really agree with her. This was talked about, a long time before I came around, that men are on top of time and men do not mark time in a way that women do. And think of it, it's largely biological. We women have cycles. We mark time in a way, we carry children, that's 9 months of carrying children. We mark time in a way that men do not. So they don't necessarily think ahead because they're right on top of time. They're hunters. So they're right ready to go, right on top of time. It's right now, not ahead, that they're thinking about. So many times it's a last minute gift. It's interesting because, women will think, well, Valentine's Day is coming up. Valentine's Day is coming up. Oh my goodness, it's almost the 14th. Men don't necessarily think that way. It's kind of like us with anything like, say, the Super Bowl was just yesterday. We women kind of know the season when it is. It's around somewhere the end of January, beginning of February, sometime in there. Some Sunday at the beginning of the year. But we don't necessarily know the date. It's the same thing with men in terms of like, oh yeah, Valentine's Day, that's around then. That's in the beginning of February sometime. Yeah. Ding, 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 it's the 14th. I mean, you should know because it's the same date every year. But it's just the idea that that's how men think of special days like this. And it can even be, it's in our lexicon that, the man, like at the last minute for Christmas or any holiday, he runs out to get something at the last minute. Hunters, I go out and I kill something now and bring it back now for the whole tribe, for the whole clan. It's the modern version of that. So you could connote he's not thinking ahead enough about me. There will be certain times in your relationship where he will, but on the whole, maybe not. And you can't make your relationship about one day. And the expectations put on relationships around this week is what can blow it up and hurt it. So if you are just dating a man and you are expecting something around Valentine's Day, now again, of course, there's unique circumstances for each woman. But if this is the case, be careful because you might throw away a perfectly good relationship where the man's love language isn't gifts. And he may think it's not that big of a deal, or he's confused or conflicted about doing something that might show some intent that he doesn't yet have. It doesn't mean he won't get there, but he doesn't yet have that intent. So not having it right now, being right on top of time, he does nothing. Men, generally speaking, are very big on when in doubt, I just wait it out. I don't do anything. And that's not altogether something negative. But you, as the woman, make a note that this is a very special thing that he must do. And that can really hurt you because he's also evaluating, are you someone who has a flexibility and can go with the flow and not, we hear all the time, put pressure on something. So I generally give this to any woman that is saying, well, he really did not come through on Valentine's Day. And again, think about, what is that not coming through? Is it that he didn't give you the gift you thought you should get, wanted to get, expected to get, but he did acknowledge the day, that can be enough for now for you to grow on. Think about it for next. Oh. Wow, thank you so much for that. I need to put that one up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's great to hear, and I'm so happy about that. So deserving, so great. I truly appreciate that, and I'm wondering about your Valentine's Day. But I bet you know from what I'm saying that, again, we take the man's innate way of being. Avoidant men have a very, very difficult time with this holiday, and we have to take stock of that. And I think we will do a deeper dive on that on Wednesday's live. Oh, our anniversary is the day before Valentine's Day. Last year, when we were not good, he did nothing. If he does nothing for either day this year, what should be my demeanor? That's a very good question. Well, that's interesting. Your anniversary is the day before. Last year, when we were not good, he did nothing. Well, knowing a little bit about what I know, I'm going to wonder, here's your question. What percentage better, or is it the same as last year? Is it 10% better than last year? Is it not better than last year? Is it 50% better? What would you say is the percentage it is better this year? And I know you've done a lot of work around this, so you can give yourself credit for that being better, but what's the percentage? Because that's 70% better. Okay, so you can expect something along those lines. In your case, I know a bit of the issues. So what can be super helpful for you is less is more, meaning you, for lack of a better word, again, take this one for the team. When you have done that in the past, and when you have pulled back, and when you have not openly avowed expectations, I think you've done yourself a big favor. And in this instance, depending how you feel about it, and again, being your husband, a token gift on your part, whether or not you get something you would think would be appropriate, I think will, for the long run, be very helpful for you. Does that compute? I want to hear if that computes for you. Should I be happy if he does nothing? Given what I just said, I would, happy if he does nothing. Well, that's interesting, because what I'm going to tell you is that, do you want the trajectory of your relationship to get significantly better, as it has? Or do you just want to be happy about this day, him somehow acknowledging it? You say it's 70% better. Well, that's because of your work. So it's very important for you to continue on that trajectory until it gets to an even better place. So let me ask you something else. Do you believe he will somehow make note of, acknowledge your anniversary and Valentine's Day? Answer that for me. Will he be acknowledging it? And if so, do you think that will be with just a token gift, saying something, taking you out? What will it be? And see if you answer that. Because given your situation, you want to be very clear about the what's important here. The importance of the marriage. Maybe one, not the other. 50% chance he'll acknowledge one, possibly flowers, possibly nothing. Okay. So you need to build on that. And that's it. You could be thinking, well, if I do that, then I'm giving away my power. Then I'm acquiescing and showing that when he does little to nothing, it's okay. But knowing your situation, I know that given the tension and the issues, that he has come very far due to your work, that he needs to feel very safe that you will not leave, and you need to show, I am not with you just for what you give me monetarily. Would you say that's true? And because if you make any mention, you are showing your hand in this game of cards, so to speak. And you are, again, confirming his fears. And you can show, possibly if he gave you, say, flowers, you make that in your mind. That's all that is needed to confirm and solidify your marriage, and that things are exponentially getting better from here. This may not make sense to anyone else listening, but because I know many of the details here, I'm helping you to get past also what can be for you the thought, if I accept less than X, I am less than X to him. And that's not at all what it is. It's him feeling safe and you showing that you are a partner to feel safe with. Okay, if nothing, it's okay to do nothing and just be sweet. There is nothing for you to do. There's nothing for you to do. You receive whatever it is, graciously receive it. If you make no mention of it leading up to it, this in and of itself is so different and makes him wonder enough that he will be doing something, as he has in the past. Like you were so touched by what he did just this past big holiday. He has made exponential moves forward because of your pulling back feminine energy and allowing him to feel safe. He must continue to feel safe like that. And this will go a long way to show him that you are a partner for who he is, not the monetary stuff he gives you. Does that make sense? I hope so. But the answer in short is yes. It's really important. Great. I like it. She said yes. She said yes. This is so intrinsic, and allowing a man to feel safe can come in many, many forms. And if you are just dating, thank you. If you're just dating, the form can be, I don't put pressure for something that is outside of us. Make no mistake, Valentine's Day, yes, it was a thing. The history of it, how many 100 years more ago? Yeah, definitely more than that now. Saint Valentine's and all of that became a thing and then became commercialized. Anything that can become commercialized and someone can make money off of, they will do. So it's imperative for us to realize that that's outside of us. And there are many men, and I think I just had somebody ask me the question and say, he's not about gifts. He doesn't like to give gifts. My man doesn't like to give gifts. And I wasn't able to get why it was. Somebody wrote into me, he doesn't like to give gifts. So what does that mean? It just means that he could be someone who's like, I don't want to be controlled by anything outside of me. Many men are like that. It's outside of us. It's not what I decide. It's coming from out there. It's a force saying you must because the calendar says this. And there are many people who bristle at that. Certainly men, because men don't want to be controlled. And they can see it as a must. And quite frankly, here's what I believe, that if a man randomly brings you home flowers, or say he goes out into the wild and he picks a flower or something and brings it home, that is a heartfelt wow. That's something that he felt in the moment and then is showing you. If it's, that old stereotype of he gets his secretary to call in flowers and the secretary chooses it or what have you. Does that really mean as much? The second guy spent a lot of money on it, but was it coming from the heart as much or just out of duty? But we can connote that things that are of a certain monetary value mean more. And I just say, let's beware of that. I did another live and a video using Dr. Orion Taraban's point about this, that wealthy men can be construed as a-holes, jerks, because they give something that they have, their resource they give out, which is money. And it's easier for them to just buy stuff because they don't have time. It's Along the same lines here, it's easy for a man who has resources to just buy stuff. Doesn't mean it means anything more. So in the case that we're just talking about, if you are having trouble, and it goes back to what I had earlier in the video with the article about relationships that are at a fractured state or weakened, are at greater risk of breaking up during Valentine's Day, because yours is a good example that if you make a big deal of this, it just solidifies what he is thinking. That this is too difficult. This is pressure. There it is. I can't do anything right. And in other words, he might even be, by not acknowledging in any big way, testing you. And you just want to pass this test with flying colors, showing him that he is safe. It's not about this day. It's just one day. Don't make it anything more than that, and you will do yourself a huge favor. So we will do more on Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm coming on to do lives because you'll get a chance to ask me these questions, follow-up questions. It's going to be very helpful if you are getting more anxious about Valentine's Day and the weekend coming up. Be part of that live. I ask you to do me the reciprocal favor of liking the video if you do, joining our lives when they come up, and subscribing, and most of all, sharing. Also, comments. Comment down below if you like this, because comments also help the algorithms to push this out to other women who may not see it. Shares help enormously, but comments and likes mean a great deal to me, and I'm forever grateful for that. I'm grateful for you here. I honor your journey. I'm happy to go on the journey with you, and glad you are here to take it with me. So until next time, again, subscribe, please, share, like this video, comment, and I will see you in the next video.